Is she out of the game? No. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back after a little bit of a break. All right, so it looks like we're out of the line of fire, and we've moved our camera crew to the other side, and Milford looks like they're up 4-2. The 6 that are out there now, most of these girls and boys, I've been watching this crew, can hit the ball over the net. They can keep a rally going, and fun to watch. So a little bit of a miss hit there, but 2-point lead is nothing for this crowd. So 5-3 so far. Talk about an international flavor. Some of the research I did was 1916 in the Philippines, when the offensive techniques were first developed, which led to further developments of the rules as a whole and increased the offensive skills for the sport. So this is Caroline Robinson with a hit. She's one of the players I mentioned that came from the Hard Rock organization. She's got a nice overhand hit, and when it comes sailing over, it's tough to handle. The serve into the net, so that goes to Milford's side, and that's 6-5 Milford. So, like I said, there's different levels of talent, different levels of activity, but what I see here is great enthusiasm for the RAL, the Lurgio Volleyball mixed co-ed league here. So 3 hits. We talked about the hits that got to come over. Got them over in 2. It's coming back. Caroline, into the net. Okay, so on that one there, probably could have been a hitter up front. Sometimes communication, and communication is the key in this sport. And calling up the shot. If somebody calls it, you gotta back off and let the person hit it. So Milford, nice solid hit, and that's a good one. That was a beautiful serve. So another point to Milford. They're backing up the line now because this girl can sail it over the net. So the other thing that happens is after a while, there's, no matter how good you are, you got to sail one into the net. You're going to sail it long, course, that's going to be a point. Courtney Cheatham with a great call to have the striker back there to stop behind and then come forward. It's one of the boys that's on the, I don't know his name, but he's a very good hitter, very good volleyball player, and it's unfortunate that the high school doesn't have a volleyball program for boys. Talking to Courtney Cheatham prior to the match, that sport is only done by a few high schools in the state, and it's also a springtime sport. So if you're a baseball player, you're not going to be playing volleyball. But this kid has some good form. He's strong. And another point going to Bedford, trying to get the score here. I want to say it's 9-8. We just took the lead after being down. As I said earlier, it doesn't take long to get points because every time the ball is served, there's a point in play. Do we know the name of this boy here serving?
No, I don't.
Okay. We have the people at the concession stand, Michelle McCool and Mary Beth Robinson, and they're going to help me with some of the names of the players because they know more of the names than I do, and so they'll be a big help. Okay, there's a stat I didn't know. Out of 40 players, there are 7 boys participating. Another serve, and this boy here has done a great job. He's probably put 6 or 7 in a row, and now we're up 13-8. So it's one of those positions that if you've got somebody who can strike the ball, the game can turn pretty quick. That's gonna be served over. That's in. No, that's in. That's. Hold on. We're getting a ruling. Was that on the line? I thought it hit the line.
I didn't see. I think it's the blue.
Yeah, that's a good call. So here's the other rule that people need to know, that if it's 90% out, it's 100% in. So if it just nudges the line, it's like a tennis shot. If it nudges the line, that's a good point. And Courtney Cheatham called over to get a update on the maybe which line it was, because we have a blue, black, and a red line out here, and she made the right call. Michelle Macri getting it over. She's playing center right now. Courtney Krause in the back just hit it. Yep. There's Michelle Macri over again, and there's some of these girls. You're gonna hear the names that I know, and some of these girls never played volley. Catherine, last name? Polachek, Catherine Polachek. She's a Hard Rock player. She's an 8th grader here at Ross Lurgio School. She's got a nice serve, and that's going to be up into the rafters, and another point. So that's going to be 15-9 Bedford over Milford. You find the players that have played tennis has that same eye-hand coordination. The tennis players seem to pick up this sport. The basketball players who are used to, having their eyes up and shooting up tend to have a leg up in this sport. And then the athletes, you see the athletes. There's another point for Bedford. Whether you're a soccer player or a field hockey player, the athletes you can see have good eye-hand coordination, also pick up pretty quick in this sport. There's a shot. So it's 18-9, I think, is the score. And we're got a couple players who have pretty much dominated the serving aspect of this. But you need to hit it over. One player can't dominate. This is truly a team sport. We're now up to 19-9 Bedford. Another solid serve. That's 6 or 7 in a row. All right, so that went off the shoulder. That's good. You can play that. Sort of hit off Michelle Macri's shoulder, and she's made the motion, but the player next to her was alert enough, got to the ball and knocked it over and got a point. So Another serve coming over, and that's out. So after 6 or 7 in a row, now Milford's going to, they'll get that point and the serve back. So here's a Milford player. So you don't know if players of this statute try and hit that underhand shot to try and give them leverage or try and hit it overhand. This is a girl, beautiful stroke, underhand with a point. So it doesn't matter what size you are. If you've got some technique, and this girl here is not the biggest girl out here. As a matter of fact, she might be the smallest girl out here, but she has a good demeanor out there. She's sets herself up and strikes the ball with some authority. And at this level, as long as you get it over the net is how you make the other person miss. And that's exactly what happened again. So 2 quick points for Milford. I got 20-11 maybe. I can't see the score. There's a third one. Gets over. Now Bedford. Now they got 3 shots to... another point. So don't underestimate the smallest kid on the court. The smallest kid might have the best technique. And this one for sure with Milford is demonstrating that. Okay, that's her 4th point in a row. Hi, how are you? So they're demonstrating how they're another point in play. Courtney Krause, that's going out. So I think that's 5 in a row for Milford. They're making a little bit of a run. I got 20-15 now, and Bedford has called a timeout. Another strategy we see it a lot in the we see the strategy sometimes, the timeout strategy, and it's one of those things that Bedford just did. You see it in the Hard Rock organization, that when you get a girl that's a hot, streaky server, that you try and ace her and cool her down by calling the timeout. And that's what Bedford did just there, because that little girl on the other side for Milford put up 5 or 6 points and forced Bedford's coach to call a timeout. So that's how it's done. So I got 22 up, and there we go. So the well runs dry after a while for everybody. Now that's 21-15. We got Michelle Macri, who's going to serve it up. Basketball player who is one of those athletes that has got strength and the ability to put it in play. Caroline to Krause, and that's going to be 4 hits. So Milford's on a little bit of a run here. They got to stop them, but of course we do have another server coming up, and sometimes you get strong servers, sometimes you don't have strong servers, and that's what we're going to see here with Milford. So Bedford's waiting it's in play, and that's a point. Yeah, I'll tell you, Milford's making a little bit of making it interesting here. That's 21-17 now. And Bedford's sort of back on their heels a little bit. I'd rather be up 4 than down 4, but... And that's into the net, so Bedford will get that point, 22-17. Bedford's rotating.
It's not very nice.
And we have a lefty, and just into the net. Technique looked good. Girls will have to work on that. I think we're seeing a lot of improvement in all these kids here. Whatever your ability is, I see the Bedford girls volleyball program, and in some cases the boys, if they decide to do it, there'll be enough interest. That didn't make it over, so that's now 23-18. Of course, the game is to 25, win by 2. Bedford's ready to serve it up, and not quite to the net, so I got 23-20 maybe? 23-19, so 4-point lead. We do have a switch coming in. There are some switching rules here. Not going to get into all the rules of volleyball today. We just want to give you a little introduction of. That's a nice hit. That's over the net. Caroline with a little tip. It's got to go over, and it's over. Third hit, remember, it's got to come back over the net. Courtney to Caroline. Puts it in play. It's out. So 24, one more point. Courtney Kraus, basketball player, turned volleyball player, and she's got a great serve. Caroline back over in the middle, and that's it. That should be the game. So 25-19. I'll tell you, that Milford squad, when they first started, I didn't think they had a chance, but they put a run together and gave Bedford a little bit of a battle. So we're going to keep an eye on that squad there. That's probably the most talented of the Milford squad we've seen so far. But you look at the shirts. I like the tie-dye shirts. They say it's co-ed fun, and the kids are having fun, but it is serious. The girls and boys want to win, and they want to show their school spirit. And it's just been a great opportunity to see this development this year and how well the Bedford volleyball program has done. This is the second time they've faced Milford. They defeated them the first time. Looks like they're in good shape to handle them this time. They've also played Wyndham, came here last week, and they took care of Wyndham. And then yesterday they were over in Hooksett, Cawley Middle School, and they took care of them pretty good. But Cawley Middle School, to their credit, they had about 80 kids on their program, and they have 6th, 7th, and 8th. So they had some 6th graders there, which were real tiny. But again, it was all about camaraderie and having fun and sportsmanship. Is that classic underhand hit by the Milford player, and she's got some good technique. I'll tell you, there's some little kids out here compared to some of the girls who you don't think they're going to get it over the net, but they try this technique, the underhand technique, and whatever works, because the whole idea of the volleyball is to get it over the net. There's another Bedford player trying to do the underhand technique. Just didn't get over, but so that now there's a new squad out here for Bedford. And again, we're going to go to Mary Beth for some of the names on the other side. Do we have some of the names on the other side? Maggie McCool, Dana Morrison, keep going. We're going to get names who they're not necessarily on this side, but they could be on the other net. Yep. Johnny Redmond. Who's that?
Sydney Robichaux.
Cindy Robichaux. Thank you. We're getting all kinds of import here. We love it.
What's Morgan's last name?
Rulo. Yeah, we talked about her earlier. She was over here. How about on this side over here?
Kendi Barnard.
Kendi Barnard's here. Yep, we see Kendi. Ramu. Tall. Sarah Cody's over there, another basketball player who's enjoying some volleyball. Same as Chadrick, what's her name? Emma Chadrick's over there. Chabarick Collins, what was the name? Jacob Collins, one of the guys, one of the 7 guys who are out here doing a great job.
And over there's Dana Morrison.
Dana Morrison on the other side. Courtney Kraus. We talked about Courtney earlier. We talked about her developing into a pretty good volleyball player as her skills from basketball attest. Megan Suter is here. Yep. Maggie McCool. We talked about Maggie. She's one of the Hard Rock kids. Brianna, last name? Okay, we're going to get it. Starts with an M. We'll get it. We're going to try and get as many names as possible. Sophie, last name? Bulldog, okay. We have Jackie Harrington, the softball player, and she's also a field hockey player enjoying the volleyball great camaraderie in this sport, and Bedford's showing that they got some volleyball players and athletes, and they're doing a great job. Another strong hit from, what's that boy's name on the other side just hit that? Over here, serving?
Jacob Collins.
Jacob Collins. You can tell the guys have a little bit more strength, and sometimes that works in your favor, and sometimes it works against your favor because you can hit it. Well, that one got right over, and that was all strength. Hit the top of the net and rolled in. But sometimes if you're hitting the ball too hard and long, then it's going to go out. So Bedford enjoying a 9, now a 10-2 lead here over Milford. And ready to serve. That's nice shot. I thought it was going to go long, but it dropped at the end. Again, it's one of those sports. If you get a streaky server, that you're gonna pile up a lot of points and maybe not give the other team a chance to even get the ball back. So this team here, Milford, looks like they're a little bit of a younger squad. They might be more 7th graders in this squad. Having a tough time with Collins serving. Another point. Bedford goes 14, now 15-2, 14-2, excuse me. There's a switch. There's a it's funny. In the real volleyball matches, there's a certain protocol of switching by holding your hands almost like a high five. Some kids know it, some kids don't. Anyways, Collins again, nice lofty serve. That's a great return. That's going to go out, so Bedford's going to grab a 16-2 lead, and so it looks like this game here will probably be Bedford's without a disaster. 17-2. You know, hitting the ball, it's all about timing, calling it. The approach is important, the footwork. They say the first step is important because that's going to give you direction. And the second, stage 2 is going to be the quick step to the ball, and stage 3 is going to be setting it up and hitting it. Hold on. We got a break in action while the so the I'm gonna jump out in front here. The positions in volleyball, just so you know, and I'm going to my helper, Mr. Google, here to help me out here. You got the outside hitter, you got the middle blocker, and you've got the setter. There's also a defensive specialist that I don't think they use in this game at all. It's the defensive specialist. Help me with that name again, the defensive specialist. Libero. That's got a little bit of a, have to get the origin of that. Sounds like it might even come from the Philippines. A little Spanish. But Libero is a defensive specialist that comes in and does special subs. And so without getting too deep into it, it's a real specialty player that will come in and... All right, so I got the score over there is 19-3. Now it's 20-3. And the liberos, we were talking about that as a defensive specialist, only play in the back row. That's the other part of it. They must make substitutions through the referee. They're allowed to go in and out of the game as much as they were needed. And so you got to sort of keep track of those players. But you do have special the setter's main responsibility is to set up the hitters, wherever it may be. You also have a outside hitter, and this player, hits from the strong corner. And if you're right-handed, the strong center is the front left. Lefties come from right to corner to be most powerful. Middle blockers, usually the very tallest member of the team, mostly in the front, in the middle, and attempts to block them going back. You don't see too many girls attempting to do that at this level. There are a couple that will do it. Maggie McCool will do it. Ramu will do it. Where they're actually up to the net. Caroline Robinson will do it. Attempt to get up and make a block. But as these girls and boys develop, you'll see that these techniques growing as well. That's 24-5, so one more point, and Bedford will take, I believe, the third game in a row on this court. This is game 3. Ramu with a usually a very strong server, hit that one a little short. We saw her the other day make about 5 or 6 in a row. And 24-8 with Milford attempting to get back into the game. And this is that girl we saw earlier who had some great technique on that underhand serve. The underhand serve, very simple, holds the ball in the hand opposite from the hitting hand, and would hold the ball and then just take their backhand and come right through, almost like a golf shot. Follow through is important, and hit that over the net. So we have another switch. Matter of fact, we've got another group of kids over here. We see Maggie McCool. We see we're going to go back to our statisticians over here. Who do we have over here? Do we have some names?
This is, yes.
We'll get you some more names here, but Maeve Parnell is one. Yep.
This is
Nice.
Caroline Rankins.
Caroline Rankins is here. That's a nice return, and you know what? That's a great return by Milford, and point by Milford. So we have a score knotted up at 1. We've seen this kid from Milford last week when we saw him. Very strong player, sometimes too strong for his own good. Usually that happens with the guys, but that time they are engaging it over the net. Bedford a nice return and not handled cleanly by Milford, so Bedford gets the rotation. More importantly, you get what's considered their stronger hitter out of the rotation, and that's what you want. Maggie McCool back into the game. Serve, nice serve over. So it's important that when that serve goes over, if it is not handled cleanly, like we saw in that play, it's going to take some awkward bounces and very difficult to get the ball under control and back in play. Another overhand striker, and if you hit it where they aren't, you're going to get a point. This girl's name, do you know her name who's serving?
Sophie.
First name is Sophie. We don't know her last name. We apologize for that, but Sophie's got some great technique. If you watch her, she's an overhand hitter. Good eye-hand coordination, and that time just nudged it out. And that point will go to Milford. So Bedford 4-2, or 2 serving 4, as they say. Trying to get technical here. Nice overhead serve, handled in the middle. And that's half the battle. We talked about this earlier. Getting it over the net and make the other team make the mistakes. That's exactly what happened there. Server's name? Don't have the name. Sorry about that. An overhand hitter, good technique. Got the ball in play, and that's what you want, and that's going to be a Bedford point. So at first I was surprised that all the girls hitting the overhand technique, but most of them that are doing it are very effective. And as demonstrated there, handled by Milford. A little bit of a dig, two-hand over. All right, so they're gonna. That was technically a foul. It's called a carry in volleyball when you come underneath and try and hit it with a set overhand. A lot of times you're going to get called by that play there. So that's another nice serve. Setting. That's what we're talking about. The set. Bedford gets another point. Again, it's probably 4 or 5 in a row. Strong. Yep, Mike Currier on camera has just made the comment of the night. Awfully strong, this Bedford group. And this is Mike Currier's first time watching the volleyball program. I've been watching them now for 4 or 5 games, and I knew that the first time they played, but they, the way the coach did it, she didn't want to stack the team, so she spread out some of the stronger players amongst the 4 groups of 10, and it's been very effective. As you can see, there's some very strong girls on this and boys on this team, and there's some kids that are just starting out, so they mix well, and they, which is what you want. I mean, I'm not sure at this level you want to just go for, your A team and, slaughter everybody every time out. Mix them up. Make sure the girls have fun, and the boys have fun, and enjoy what I consider a great middle school program. So. Okay, so Bedford's back on the ball, serves back here. Once again, in play, you got to be able to hit it. So they also have a little bit of a technique at the end when it's an ace shot. They come in the middle and they all yell ace, or a clap and a score. It's Gabby DeAngelis is the name of this little superstar server. Gabby's probably hit now 8 or 9 in a row, so the girl who we did not identify now has a name, Gabby DeAngelis. 7th grader, 8th grader, do you know what grade she's in?
I don't know.
We don't know, but it doesn't matter. She's got some technique, and she's putting points on the board. We talked about streaky servers, and Gabby's one of them. She's probably hit 8 or 9 in a row, and now the score's up to 13 to 2 into the net. So Gabby does her job, and now it's 13 to 3. Find that happens to a lot of streaky servers, that after a while, they just can't maintain their.
Wear yourself out, baby.
Yeah, they might get a little tired. Mike Currier is calling the commentary over here. Mike Currier on color, doing a great job. As the underhand technique, just didn't quite make it, but good technique. Okay, so Alex, last name? Beekman, that could be Alex Beekman. We're going through the roster right now. Mary Beth Robinson and Michelle McCool, our statisticians here, doing a great job. Plus, they're selling all the candy and the Gatorade and water, and they're doing a heck of a job. So, Alex into the net. So we're going to try and get and identify as many of these players as possible. For the Bedford side, I have no clue who the Milford players are, other than they're all good sports, and they're here competing, and that's what you want in middle school. That's a great overhand serve for that Milford server. And once again, though, such a technique trying to get that ball in play. Next name? Maeve Parnell. Okay, so Maeve's up 8th grade. Thank you, Michelle McCool, on that stat, and Mary Beth Robinson. And that's a nice ace. So Maeve Parnell, a long line of strong Bedford servers who are putting the ball in play, which is half the battle. A solid hit again, and it falls in. So 19-4. Maeve Parnell with her third serve now, and again in play. Back over, McCool to front of the net. That's a nice touch. That's a nice touch. Who's that right there? Just hit the ball over?
Next to Maggie.
Yeah.
Is that Brianna?
Brianna. We're trying to get a last name. We'll get it.
Okay. Brianna Gauthier-Sheetman.
Gauthier-Sheetman? Is that what you said? Brianna. We'll go with Brianna for now until we get the official. Maeve with a nice serve over. Can't handle it. That makes it 20. Masillo and a cheerleader. Thank you, Michelle McCool. Wealth of information. Maeve with another serve. That's going out of bounds, so that's going to make it 23-4. Talked about these streaky servers and how they can be effective, and Maeve's showing that's very effective. That makes it 24-4, and one more point, and this game will be in the books, as they say. And that will do it. So the Bedford Lurgio Girls Middle School, I keep saying girls, it's actually co-ed. It's girls and boys. The co-ed squad racks up another one.
Put it in the popcorn popper.
Put it in the popcorn popper. Mike Currier, our crack cameraman and color commentator, who's the CEO and founder of Castle Hill Media and Castle Hill Sports, a local Bedford institution. Athletic scholarships, videos, weddings, bar mitzvahs. Well, if there's a buck to be made, Currier will be there. But his forte clearly is camera and editing. And there isn't a better guy and I think all of New England that can handle this athletic events. And so if you're looking for any athletic footage, looking for some scholarship footage, then Mike Currier with Castle Hill Media and Castle Hill Sports, your guy. He'll hook you right up. So we have, okay, looks like this could be a 7th grade program as well from Milford, ready to tee it up. Nice underhand serve, solid. Some of the players on the other side. What do we got on the other side? I see we got Caroline Hers. Who else? Johnny Redmonds in the back row. Oh, Johnny's going to serve. Who else we got back there? Dana Morrison's back there. Nice serve. Emily Desmaris on the Lurgio side. So, and then some of the subs back there. Well, we'll see them as they come in. Jackie's back there. Morgan's back there. Again, so this Milford squad looks a little, they're probably 7th graders. Might even be the first time playing. The thing about volleyball is you got to attack the ball. You got to anticipate where it's coming, where it's going to fall, so you can come in and cover and make the play. So that looked a little out to me, but we'll take the call. Maybe hit the line. What'd they say? 90% outs, 100% in? But who's listening? Well, this is being streamed. Is it being streamed live?
We're live, dude.
Oh, we're live. So I'm so glad I got that halfway through the program. But it is streaming live on Castle Hill Sports, and I'm sure it will find its way on the internet sometime. Nice overhead serve.
Deutsch fan.
Can't, Bedford takes, I can't even see the score from here. We'll have to nudge over next time out, but Bedford's hasn't lost a point yet. I know that. Talked about streaky servers and how important it is to handle that first hit and get it back in play. See the coach over there helping the Milford kids out. So yeah, it looks like this is a young 7th grade squad that's out here competing. Oh, just got over the net. So another point for Bedford. And Milford just called their timeout. I'm trying to get a score here. In this game, we have 8. 8-0 is the score. So we got a timeout from Milford. Again, I think it's a 7th grade squad they're playing. The Bedford girls and the girls and boys on the other side, just too strong for this particular group. But we have seen some competitive matches on the far field, far court. We see a match going on. I don't know what the score is, but looks like it's 2 evenly matched 8th grade squads. As we come back from the timeout, we got Bedford scoring at 8-0. And that's going to fall in there. It's going to be a point. Yeah, that is a point. So Bedford 9. I think it's probably 9-0 at this point. Streaky hitter. And that's out. Good save on the camera. I still have a few of my moves left. Not many, but a few. That one was coming right for the Castle Hill crew, and I was able to jump up and deflect it. Scared me a little bit, seeing, when an 8th grade whacks a ball and it's coming right at your head. So Milford underhand just gets over. You got to be. That's interesting that ball didn't look like it was going over, but it just clipped the top of the net and just scooted over. So from the Bedford defensive side, you got to be ready to react to that and try and get that ball up. But next serve goes low, and so Bedford's going to take it over. This is Caroline Hers, tennis player, rec basketball player, member of the Snapdragons basketball team, playing in the championship game this Saturday at Lurgio Middle School. Had to put a little plug in there. And so ball's in play. Milford can't handle it. Caroline Hers, as I mentioned, is a tennis player who's never played volleyball before, and it's one of those kids with, you can tell when she throws the ball up with her eye hand, almost similar to a tennis racket. Good follow through, and she's strong enough to get the ball over the net. So your tennis players, as I mentioned, your basketball players, who I think have an easier transition into this game if they've never played before. Another nice serve by Hers, and another point. I got 13-2 Bedford. And Bedford seems to be rolling along in this match as well. I think I've seen 5 matches and 5 wins, if I'm not mistaken. Hers with the ball over, back in play, and Milford's trying to handle it, can't handle it. So we got a 14-2 lead with Bedford and Hers. Caroline Hers serving a nice overhead serve. Nice volley back over. Nice tap to Dana. Dana gets it back over. That's Jackie Harrington in the middle. This is a great little volley. We haven't seen too many of these today. And at the end, Milford can't get it over in their third hit, and Bedford takes a 15-2 lead. Hers with probably her 4th or 5th serve now. Again, the technique from a tennis player. Nudges it, heads up. Oh, another one. Another reaction. Wow. We're being, yeah, it's a great serve, yeah. Yeah.
Great service, yeah.
Well, dropped in where they weren't. And, if you're if you've got that kind of strength and that kind of ability, and you can drop it into a certain point in the court, you find where they aren't there, you're going to hit it. You're going to get points every time.
It's very difficult to defend.
And so Caroline Hers doesn't complete that one, but builds up a commanding 16-3 lead. Bedford in front comfortably. And we've got a Milford player attempting the underhand service volley and falls short. Okay, so all right, now there's an example. There's another small kid from Bedford who just has pretty good technique on the overhand serve. So it's not about how big you are, how powerful you are. It's the technique, and you look at the confidence. Nice little easy. Once again, hit it where they aren't. Milford being a little timid. We're only a few points away here from wrapping this one up. You haven't even gone through a full rotation of service for Bedford. It shows how strong they are. Just didn't get there. So that's going to be, I know Milford has 4 and Bedford has 19. So, no. So that's going to be 20-4. Nice little crowd here. We've got a lot of parents, a lot of fans here watching the middle school participate in the volleyball. So that's going to be 21. So I believe that's 21-5. You know, communication is important out here. Calling it, we talked about that earlier. Calling the player off so there's no collisions. So communication is important. Nice dig, nice setup. Here we go, back over the net. 3 hits. Bedford does that very well. The front row is setting up the hitters, and Dana got that over nicely. So we're going to see Dana now go back and do her service. It's just an overhand server. Got the strength, gets it in play. Jackie Harrington, it was a nice trying to set up, but just didn't get there. But 22-6. And we have Courtney Cheatham, Miss Cheatham calling timeout. There's going to be a substitution. Milford's making a substitution. And, well, the strategy is to get a kid that can hit it out of bounds. But there are certain substitutions that they use in this game. I don't have all the rules officially, but and I'm not sure a lot of these coaches at this level are using that strategy as well. Nice hit back. Jackie with a nice tip. Look at that athletic move. That's a beautiful athletic move. So you saw it. And again, you talk about athletic kids. That's Jackie Harrington, softball player and field hockey player, who hit the ball in the middle, and it was hit back kind of at an awkward angle. She sprinted to the ball, and one hand with a leap just nudged it over.
Like leading a honeybee to the honey hole.
There you go. She's a pretty good athlete, remarkable athlete, and you saw it right there. So only on Castle Hill Media Sports will you be able to see a move like that. Only. So they're rotating, and a nice part about the volleyball program here at Lurgio Middle School is that they do run games in and out. so they're constantly rotating. The kids are getting a lot of playing time, which is good, building up their endurance and just getting a lot of playing time. And it technically runs about an hour, maybe an hour and 15. So it's the most action-packed hour and 15 minutes I've seen in a long time, because they're getting a lot of kids in on a game. Unlike a baseball game where you won't get a lot of substitutions, basketball game you may not get the substitutions, but volleyball, the way it's set up, 40 kids in this program, games are just moving in and out. So. Watch the technique, some great technique, and a little confusion over on the Milford sideline, and Bedford ties it at 1. I gotta grab a water. Would you? She already paid for my water. Isn't she nice? That's Chief Statistician over there, Mary Beth Robinson, along with Michelle McCool, who are at the snack table. So if you're anywhere near the snack table, $1 for water, popcorn, chips, it's a steal. $2 for Gatorade, and the money's being raised for the coaches and after parties. So make sure you stop by the snack bar and participate. Okay, it's tied up at 2. We got some names on the other side that we can talk about.
Well, we already talked about this team.
Oh, we did. Okay, I've just been informed by one of the statisticians. We've already talked about this team.
We can talk more if you want.
Yeah, so who do we got on the other side? Sophie's over there. Sophie Bulldog? Bulldog, okay. Bulldog. Serving.
Is that Alex? I think Alex.
We got Alex serving. Okay. So once again, you got these nice streaky hitters, and being able to deliver the ball. The boys with their strength, if they can get it over, are tough to return, as you saw just then. Line drive coming in at you, really tough to handle. That's 8-1, almost 9-1, making it too tough. We saw this happen in Milford last week when we went out to Milford. Bedford went in there and did pretty much the same thing they're doing here. The program, the quality of the Bedford kids are just superior to Milford. There's a timeout. Once again, strategy used by the coaching. Settle their team down, getting them back in play. It's competitive, but it's not over-competitive, and that's what I like about this program. Co-ed volleyball broadcast live here at Lurgio Middle School on September 12th, 2015. Mike Robinson here with Mike Currier on camera. Mike Currier, Castle Hill Media, Castle Hill Sports. One of the premier sports videotape and production companies in the area, or the. Mike was at the Division I hockey program last night where Bedford lost in overtime. And that's a beautiful ball, beautiful serve. It's, again, one of those streaky kids that once you get going, if you can't handle it, you're just going to keep pounding points. And you can see it, it's like a heavyweight up there. 12-1 Bedford. I'd be surprised if we've dropped a match here today based on what I've seen just on this side. We haven't seen them all, but... Is this Maggie's team as well? Maggie McCool, she's on the other side. Okay, yeah. Yeah, he hasn't missed one. I don't think he's missed one yet. 14-1. And there it is. So we talked about that. We jinxed him. We were talking about how good he was serving, and then we said something and we jinxed him. But it won't matter because there'll be another streaky Bedford hitter, server coming up next. And Milford just struggling to get the ball over and in play. It's a nice part about the new volleyball rules is that there's a point on every serve, no matter if it's who's ever serving it. It used to be that the offense, you could only serve and score on the offensive serve, but that changed a while ago. It helps move the game along too. So we got Bedford up now 16-2. Yeah. Oh, so once again trying to call out, and sometimes what happens, I think you saw in that position there, one person's trying to do too much as opposed to having a team effort where everyone plays a position on the court. So here he is coming in again. And no. So that's 17-2, 18-2. This game should be over pretty quick, but good technique on the underhand serve. And Milford gets one. That dropped in there. So it's all about technique. That was the smallest kid on the court digging for the ball and getting it back over and hit it where nobody was for Bedford. So this year also at the middle school, Bedford had a girls volleyball program. It wasn't an official sanctioned program, it was a club program, but they were playing against some well-developed, teams that had been around and had been playing volleyball for a while, and it showed because I don't think Bedford won. They may have won one match, but it shows out here now that there are some quality players that can play this, and that's just going to feed the high school, Bedford High School. Most of these kids will be going to Bedford High School next year, and they have a freshman, JV, and varsity program. So look for good things down the road for Bedford volleyball. Over the net, Maggie McCool, and that's 4 times. So again, the rule is it's got to get over in the third hit. If it doesn't, ball, point to the other team. Now this is that player we talked about earlier. Small in stature, but has great technique under the underhand hit for Milford. And she, wish I knew her name because she's got energy and she's got good technique. Watch her with her underhand technique. Good wind up, just lets it fly. Everything gets into it. And, oh, look at that. Back over. She's all over the court, too. One-handed hit. This is a good point. Good volley. Back in again. Oh, a little miscommunication, but point for Bedford. I got to check that score one more time. We got a score of 23-5, so we've got 2 more points. Milford can't handle that. That's 24-5. 1 more point, and this match will be over. So coming up to almost 5 o'clock here, so we got a few more minutes and a few more matches, I suspect, before we're going to wrap this thing up. But that's going to drop in for a point and a win. So we are going to see a rotation, another match coming up. That's 6 in a row we've seen on this side, right, Mike? We do have a little break while they start getting the next group up. And the Bedford will be serving closest to us in the Castle Hill Media camera pit. So we'll see who's coming out on the court. The girls all have smiles on their faces. They're all enjoying themselves. Something you want to see at middle school. You know, when they get up to high school, you're going to see how all that changes. It just gets so competitive, and you forget that these kids are 13, 14 years old, out just to have fun. And when you see kids out on the court with smiles on their faces, you know that they're doing a good job here at Lurgio Middle School in Bedford, New Hampshire.
Home of the Lurgio Lions.
The Lurgio Lions, thank you, Mike Currier. Not only just a great editor, camera guy, but he's got a wealth of information, and the information's just, it's staggering sometimes what comes out of his mouth. Okay, so who do we have serving here, over here for Bedford? Trying to get her name. Well, hopefully we'll get her name. And that went out of bounds, so in a basket. Nicole Petru, I thought she said, but Nicole Petru. So Nicole's serving. Already got one over, 1-0 Bedford. And second serve into the net, that's okay, 1-1. So Milford to serve in a 1-1 game. Oh, looks like a little curveball. Tough to handle that one. And a lot of movement. Did you see that? Looked like a knuckleball coming over.
Wilbur Wood shot.
Did you say Wilbur Wood? Wow. Where'd that name come from?
Chicago White Sox.
Chicago White Sox knuckleballer. He's coming back. He's an old school guy too, this Currier. Okay, nice in the middle. Courtney digs it out, gets it, and I'll tell you, half the battle, and that's what I like about Bedford. You saw the girls played their position, 3 hits, the third hit went over, and you make the other team make the mistake. Caroline Robinson is in the back row now. But this is the girl here who hit like 8 or 9 in a row. And what's her name again, the hitter? Right here?
I'm sorry?
For Bedford?
Catherine Polchak.
Polchak? Polchak. Catherine Polchak. Catherine did a great job in the last match we saw where she, I think she hit 9 or 10 in a row, and she's capable.
Dominating the Lions game.
Dominating the stats. She, once again, nice high floater. She's got the strength to get it over the net, and if you get it over the net, that's half the battle. This might be the last match of the day as we're getting closer to 5. And that's another one, so we got 5-2 Bedford. Another nice serve over, a little confusion on the Milford side. It just drops right in, so point Bedford. Another strong serve, tough to handle. And even though when they get their hands on it, it's just a tough ball to handle. Another one of the Hard Rock kids. Hard Rock's out of Milford, New Hampshire. Volleyball program for ages. I think they start at 8 or 9 and go up into the teens. It's a travel volleyball program. And you can see the kids who play Hard Rock, you can see have some technique and how to play this game. So another one over. Bedford 9-2. I don't think we've had a close game yet, have we, Mike? But again, smiles on their faces and good attitude. You got to hand it to the Milford kids. They might be taking it on the chin here, but they all seem to be having fun out there. And you know, it is a learning experience too for programs that look like they're young, like this Milford program. Something for the kids to strive for. I am seeing positive communication from the coaching staff, and I think the Bedford coach just said to serve underhand, and there's a little bit of a sportsmanship. Give him a chance. Very tough handling those overhead hits. So they are going underhand and into the net. So it's 11-3. Good sportsmanship by the coach. The Bedford coach came over and just told Nicole to put the cannon away.
What's the Bedford coach?
The Bedford coach's name is what's the coach's name? Coach Bush. Coach Bush. Does she teach here?
She's a paraprofessional.
Oh, paraprofessional in the Blue Pod. Thank you, from Maggie McCool. And Brianna, helping out. Taking a break, but helping out. And what's this boy's name again? Oh, you'll give us the name. So what's his name?
Joey.
Joey? Do we know Joey's last name? No? So Joey. Joey's one of those heavy hitters. He can really smash the ball. He can hit it. That's okay. That's all right. So Joey again underhand, which is what the coach had asked the players to do, and Joey switched to underhand now, trying to give Milford a little bit of a chance and getting it in play. So they stopped the game at 15, I guess, and that ended. So, and I think we might even be close to wrapping up here. What's that?
Yeah, Courtney's down. Courtney's down.
Oh, Courtney. Hi, Coach. Can we ask you a few questions here?
Oh my God, really?
I'm going to hold this up like a professional microphone.
He just
because
knows how good I am at
that's
this.
all we have. Coach Cheatham, Courtney Cheatham, they did a great job up there refereeing. Talk to us about the skills you see out there. You see, like, the Milford program looked a little weak. The Bedford program looked a little stronger. Middle school, that can change in a year or two, correct?
Absolutely, and I think what was really good to see is on the Milford side, the kids looked like they were developing the right ideas, like they were in ready position, they were subbing using the correct formation, and they had different positions that they were trying when they were rotating on the ball. So I thought that was kind of a nice thing to see. They're teaching them the right skills at Milford, and at some point you hope that translates to being able to compete. But
well, it's amazing what a year will make, because these girls here are 7th grade. Next year they're going to be that much bigger, that much stronger. I see some real good attitude on the Milford side. I saw some good sportsmanship on the Bedford side when Coach Bush asked some of the heavy hitters to start serving underhand and make it fun.
Absolutely, and they also were trying to do the 3 hits, which I think is good for development anyways, but also the team concept. So that was good to make it a little competitive for the Bedford team. As we all know as coaches, sometimes you're on the underside of that and sometimes you're on the better side of that, but either way you want to be able to still teach your kids something, and I thought that they were able to do that.
And the other thing I saw was a lot of smiles on these kids' faces. It's a co-ed program. When you see kids smiling at this age, everyone's a winner.
I agree. I played this when I was back at McKelvey. That was probably one of my most favorite teams I've been on my whole life, so
well,
I can relate.
Go. That's great. So, Coach Courtney Cheatham, Merrimack basketball coach, tell us a little bit about what happened this year with Merrimack and how'd you guys do, and talk to us about the tournament coming up.
Sure. So the tournament's ending, but we had a developmental year. I took over the program last year. It's been a rundown. I was their 4th coach in 5 years, so it was a little rundown, but we have a great development program coming through. We had some great freshmen this year, so the future's really bright for us. Looking forward to doing the play-by-play for Castle Hill Media tomorrow night. Winnicott versus Londonderry in the finals. Don't know who I'm pulling for. I can't reveal that information.
Well, I'll tell you who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for the number 9 seed, Winnicott, who came into Bedford a couple days ago and knocked off the number 1 seed Bulldogs, coached by Sue Thomas. I like that Winnicott team.
Favorite quote of mine, everybody loves the story of an underdog that overcame, and I think that would be a perfect example of that.
That's great. Well, Coach Cheatham, thank you so much for joining us, giving some insight on the Lurgio volleyball and the girls basketball coming up. Castle Hill Media going out, won't be live, but they'll have it online tomorrow at SNU for the finals, which is going to be Winnicott versus Londonderry. We'll see you then. Thanks,
Absolutely.
Coach.
Thank you.
Nice job. Good luck
Put me on
tomorrow
the
night.
spot like that.
Oh, you're great. You're like a ham like me.
My new wingman.
Okay, are we good?
Good.
All right, thank you.
That's all that matters.
Signing off.
You already signed up.
Signing off.